This has been so fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Tony Todd was in here. Steve was in here. I mean, this panel room has been amazing. I honestly, coming into it for the second year, I was thinking like, well, if it's at least as good as last year, but the fact that this has been better is insane. Who here is at your first or second horror convention? I mean, that speaks volumes to how great it is what Ice Nine Kills is doing, not just in music, but for art and culture and community, which is why we're all here, I think, because we're a bunch of fucked up people that come together and are a little less fucked up together, right? That's the thing. So, I don't want to get too legal on you guys, but there is a little bit of a criminal justice conversation to have before we bring out the whole band. First and foremost, I'm going to introduce alleged journalist Roy Merkin, along with Mr. Spencer Charnas. I'm told that Mr. Charnas is accompanied by his legal counsel, Mr. Eric German. So, Mr. Merkin, I hope we didn't get off on the wrong foot the last time.
Well, I didn't care for that introduction there, Ryan, to say the least. When we were in New York,
yes,
it was a little contentious, but I'm looking forward to a lively debate today as well. So thank you very much for having me.
I know that it's well established that I was up for the Bayonet Award the same year you were, and I just want to say before we start that I'm not influenced by that.
Well, that's all right. Now, who won that Bayonet Award that year? If I can't quite remember, now that's 2017. Mm-hmm. Who do we know who won the Bayonet Award?
It really doesn't. I mean, winners, losers.
Maybe just shout it out.
Carrot Top won it that year.
Anybody want to shout out who won the Bayonet Award? Roy Merkin, that's correct. I won the Bayonet Award that year. So I'm very sorry for your loss, but I relished in my prize.
Well, we can have a separate conversation about election integrity when it comes to the Bayonet Awards.
Stop the steal.
Mr. Downey, if I may interrupt,
please.
On the subject of integrity, I want to remind everyone that this book that we're here to talk about today is a work of fiction. It's for entertainment purposes only. And while we're all here to have a good time, and Mr. Merkin was Merkin 9 to 5 in this very room at the RF karaoke night the other night.
Thank you very much for saying so. You got to bring some country to this rock and roll, I'll tell you that much.
I want to remind you, Mr. Merkin, while we're all here to have a good time, any implication of liability, culpability, or impropriety on behalf of Mr. Charnas will be shut down immediately.
Can we get him off the stage? This is...
I've been informed that he has a legal right to be present. Mr. Charnas, for some reason or another, felt that his legal counsel should be here. I don't know what that says, but...
Oh, well, I'm a big fan of OJ, so I kind of just follow his lead. OJ the drink.
You hold up those hands for me, Spencer. Yeah, the gloves fit. These gloves fit.
So, Mr. Merkin, if I may, could you tell us a little bit about not only what inspired you to write this book, but I don't know, one might say some of the implications in there seem to run a little bit counter to what had been established prior to the book's publication. So.
Sure. Yes. Well, as you very well know, Dr. Ian Black was tragically passed away, was blamed for a number of deaths. I believe that Spencer Charnas may have been behind those deaths. You've undoubtedly, around this convention, seen some of the actors who played those characters in the film that came prior to the book. And eventually, after writing this book, coming up with the name The Silver Scream, mind you, and I know that we've discussed this.
Trademark.
We've discussed this at length. Coming up with that name, I was fortunate enough to have Dr. Ian Black's original notes. I went through them. I felt Spencer was the real killer. And from that, Spencer eventually signed on to work on this book with me, which I think is the largest admission of guilt I have ever heard in my life.
Well,
But I was so lucky to have him.
Excuse me, Mr. Morgan, and you'll take this, Eric, but aren't the notes are up for debate in terms of the handwriting? I've heard that we've brought in a handwriting expert, and it did not match any of his other, documentation, his signature, his V's. Dr. Ian Black's V's were like perfect triangles, and the V's in the alleged notes were less than perfect triangles. You want to elaborate on this?
These notes certainly didn't meet the standards of admissibility for federal evidence.
Innocent!
He's going to get his day in court, folks. Don't you worry about that.
Are we to presume then that there's an implication that those notes upon which your book is based were
We have the book here.
There's the book right there.
Available in stores everywhere around this.
the book.
Where good books are sold, yes.
Where all books are sold.
Are we to understand that perhaps the veracity of those notes are in question, that they were maybe forged?
In a word, no.
Doctored, I think, is the
That's all.
terminology. Doctored.
I'll leave you with that. No, not forged.
So what inspired you to tell this story in this book, and to what extent are you willing to stand behind its assertions?
Well, I'd say the victims' families, making sure that they had a voice through me to find and convict, eventually, we hope, the correct killer, and not just to lay it in the ground with Dr. Ian Black.
Are any of the victims' families here? Just raise your hand. I saw one in the back earlier.
We have a couple over here.
No, they're
No?
dead? Okay.
All right. Well,
I do understand that a portion of the proceeds from this book are going to a charity established for the
Yep.
victims' families.
Yes,
Is that correct?
absolutely. A small sum. Spencer.
Could you remind me what that amount is? Percentage-wise?
Well,
I don't think we should
percentage,
discuss
I don't think
the
we-
figures here, Mr. German.
Mr. Downey, this is a community here. We're here to discuss the book itself. We can leave
Okay.
the business stuff.
Well, we could, if we could ask all cameras be turned off for about 30 seconds. Okay.
It's a portion of the proceeds. It's a small,
We'll just leave it at that.
A small sum.
Portion,
Okay.
yeah.
A portion.
Paid for part of the caskets, yeah.
It did. We did. Well, they were from Costco, which is a great deal.
Casket Royale.
Bulk
Yeah.
purchasing.
Yeah.
Okay, and when we're saying a portion of the caskets, are we thinking like the handles?
The pillow.
Who really knows?
But some money's going to
Very comfortable. Very comfortable.
So it sounds like, Mr. Merkin, what you're saying is that you really did this for the victims.
I did.
Certainly not for the, I don't know,
Not for myself.
self-aggrandizing press.
No,
or
sir. No, sir.
publicity you're
If I
getting
get a
from
little attention now and again, it's purely accidental, purely incidental. I absolutely was not seeking that. And look at this room full of people here. I mean, this is sort of who we get for
Mr.
these kind of
Merkin,
things.
all of the people in this room can see on your very Instagram at Roy Merkin. We've been
Well, at the real
monitoring
Roy.
that.
Real
yeah,
Roy.
at the real Roy Merkin. We've been monitoring that Instagram account, and I would beg to differ that you're not doing this for notoriety or celebrity.
Well, I agree to disagree.
Yeah. How many people in this room have actually read the book?
Well, a fair few people. Oh, look at that.
And let's just get a little vote here. Who's for guilty? Raise your hand. All right, three.
Very powerful three.
Yeah.
Very powerful three.
Innocent.
But no one said right here, so we don't know.
No, they're talking
Well,
about
we
me.
don't. Okay. I'm guilty?
I think we were talking about me,
Oh.
right? Right, ladies and
Yeah!
gentlemen? And how about my ironclad alibi?
Oh, boy.
I was at the dentist.
No. A root canal does not take
Not a
place
root
over
canal.
3
My
months.
bicuspid was off center.
Oh my goodness. The whole bicuspid story. We've heard the bicuspid, everybody in this room has heard the bicuspid story 16 times now. And I'll tell you, not only have you changed it from an incisor to a bicuspid, but also it does not take months and months to have dental work done. This is absurd. You must have the
There's
teeth
a
of
wait
child.
list.
I'm going to say my 50.
There is a wait list.
I just want to point out the only murders that Mr. Charnas has ever conducted took place at the Lynn Auditorium last night.
And the one actual death for the security guard, that's, we're not talking about that.
I saw that show, and I will say very theatrical. It showed a person who could fool a lot of people, perhaps many in this room, and get away with even something so grossly ridiculous as murder, I would say.
I believe Skeet is still here, so I don't know if you want to talk about him like that.
He loved the show, I think. I saw him.
Now,
at the show.
as a objective journalist who believes in truth,
As do I.
I can't say I can really neither confirm nor deny whether or not Ice on Kills murdered the crowd last night. I would say
They killed it.
I don't know how I feel about a lawyer with so many murder puns. I think we need to. You get the clients you deserve, sir. You get the clients you deserve. Okay.
Well, just because you did it doesn't mean you're guilty.
Yo, back,
That'd be a
Spencer.
slogan.
That was not an admission of guilt either. That was just the Cochrane firm slogan.
Well, I think, perhaps if we could gain a broader understanding of your motivations, your curiosities, your interests, your proclivities. What is Roy Merkin all about beyond the silver screen? What do we really know about you besides what's
Well,
printed on the
first
back
and
of this
foremost,
book?
I'm an American. I wear that on my chest, very proudly. I'm a gun-owning American.
Would you
I'm
say
from
you
Texas,
support the troops?
but I don't. I do support the troops.
Okay.
But
Which side?
it's nice to be on the winning side. I'll tell you. U.S. of A. undefeated in world wars.
You're a Cowboy fan, right, Mr. Murphy?
I am America's team. Dallas Cowboys. Well, this afternoon I'll be rooting for the Eagles. Excuse me, the Patriots against the Eagles because I hate the Eagles. So
Can you enlighten us a little
Patriots?
bit
No Patriots?
on the backstory of the NRA pancake supper that you were pictured
I
on?
was at a pancake breakfast. It was delicious. I was there with some of my friends. Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson. Where do you think he got the bow tie from? I've been wearing it long before Tucker. Sean Hannity. Sean was
personal
there.
friend of
Sarah
yours.
was there. Of course, Charlton Heston was not there, but he was there in spirit because he was Supreme Leader for quite a
Is it
while.
true that you participated in illegal polar bear hunting with Sarah Palin?
Yeah.
It's just something I read. I'm just doing my research.
I'll tell you, she's a wild gal. What they do up in Alaska, what's legal in Alaska is legal in Alaska, and I'll leave it at that. So can't confirm or deny.
So what would you say really drives you? I mean, on the one hand, you have said justice for the victim's family.
Yeah.
On the other hand, some have said, I don't know, tabloid, sensationalism, self-serving. These are other people's words.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I'll just field the question now. We can stop there. Justice drives me. Justice for the victims' families. The truth drives me. I'm a journalist first and foremost. And I think that this great country can only survive with great people. And keeping great people means putting ungreat people behind bars. And sometimes those people, like Spencer here, shouldn't be out with the rest of us because, quite frankly, they're not so great. That's how I feel.
Mr. Merkin, I want to remind you the law of defamation is equally powerful in Massachusetts as it was in New York, and as it will be at any other times that you're talking about this book.
Why don't you come down to Texas, say that to my face? Try that in a small town.
That sounds like a threat to me. Physical threat.
If you truly feel that Mr. Charnas was responsible for these gruesome murders that have really been, I think, proven to have been committed by someone else. But let's go with your theory for a moment.
Sure. Okay.
Why is it that you were so not only willing, but one would say anxious and eager to sit on a stage in front of a crowd of people with Mr. Charnas and to perhaps even have his participation in the promotion of this book?
Well, because, and I know this is a hostile room for me, but I think people should always go in front of their adversaries. Just like Spencer will face a jury of his peers someday for everything that he did, and I am certain that that will happen.
Now, you do have, I mean, since we are talking about legalities, you have a couple of pending charges yourself, right? I mean,
I don't think we need to go into
I think
that.
16 DUIs.
I don't think we need to go into that.
In a span of 3 years.
Well,
I mean, you might as well be a Kennedy. Because,
It wasn't quite 16, I think.
well,
That's
you also spent some time at Chapel
exaggerating a little bit. That's
Mr. Merkel,
exaggerating. Very lucky
we've
not.
investigated that hunting license and it is invalid.
Lock him up.
and you have been quoted as saying that you tried jogging, but you couldn't keep the ice cubes in your glass. Is that true? That was attributed to you?
Well, I'll tell you, the cars, they come with a lot of cup holders, and it's really just tempting there, you know. You got to fill them. And you got a saying down in Texas about that, you know. It's a car got a lot of cup holders, you got to keep it full. That's just how I roll. So, but it was not 16. Well, don't listen to what he says. This doesn't.
17. So.
Well, yeah, it was a bit lower, but yes, we've had some trouble. We have drive-through liquor stores in Texas, and then you get outside of there, and it's like all of a sudden you got rules and everything, and you know, we believe in the rule of law for murder, but come on, I didn't kill anybody. This guy over here, sure.
Well, vehicular manslaughter is still killing someone.
I did. That's not. He doesn't know yet. That's not what happened.
It's just, you know, I mean, look, we
scratch.
understand it was a rainy, slippery bridge. Okay, I just want to, again,
A
be impartial here.
small scratch, and I think we're done with that. I think we need to move on.
Well, I just want to say, I think it's very
Defamation,
amusing that Mr. Merkin is suddenly very concerned with the accuracy of factual allegations.
We're not here to adjudicate my life or my. I don't want that here.
That's a different book.
That's for Spencer. That's what we're here to talk about. We're not here to talk about me. We're not here to talk about any indiscretions I may or may not have had. We're here to talk about this book.
Does the audience agree with that?
No.
You want to go through this is ridiculous.
Well, again,
I
do want to point out that although I, have written a number of things, 4 Ice 9 Kills, including the Inked in Blood 2 book, which is coming out soon on Z2 Comics.
Wish I could say anything.
Then I am very much like you. I am a journalist, and I'm very impartial. I'm not here to, declare anyone's
An
innocence or
intro would
guilt.
say otherwise, but go on.
But my objectivity is really without question. In fact, my objectivity appears as a line item on each of my invoices, so I won't have a question.
From the band. Is you're on the payroll.
My question is,
He's on the payroll of Ice 9 Kills. He's on the payroll of Ice 9 Kills. And it's ridiculous. So of course you're not impartial.
but it seems that your story has changed, right? Because at one point you, like the rest of us, knew who the real killer probably was. I mean, what changed?
I
with you
believed
and
it was
Mr.
Spencer
Charles?
from the start, and when I had Spencer sign on to this, I believed it was an admission of guilt, and I thought we were riding that train down the same track. But all of a sudden, he changed his story.
I
He's
believe
coming
the
up
book was more in the
alibis and-
spirit of If I Did It, which is a great work of
If I did
fiction,
it.
if you're not familiar.
But
If
what
I
about
did.
your newscast from when Dr. Ian Black was founded? You said that you wished
I did.
me luck in the hospital.
Well,
Thoughts and prayers. What was
thoughts
that
and prayers
about?
to
Was that just
victims and
lip
families.
service, Mr. Merkin?
No, from then on, I believed the same thing I believe now is that man is innocent. He is innocent. Oh, thoughts and prayers to you.
You gave thoughts and prayers to me.
Oh, no, well. My tune changed. I see what
Yeah,
you're
well,
saying.
clearly.
Initially, it appeared because you are a wizard, sir. You are a very,
I had minor
very
flesh
convincing
wounds.
individual. I mean, look at all these people you have here. All
Oh, you
these
think I have
so-called
a
family,
fool?
so-called you call them psychos. It's ridiculous.
And aren't you proud of being psychos, ladies and gentlemen, right? You're proud.
Mr. Merkin,
Not a badge of honor.
we do not judge a book by its cover.
So you just read it. I'll tell you.
And hearing you cast aspersions at the psychos, I mean, bigotry against the neurodivergent is real.
That is not.
These are people
that these people, they justify, they glorify violence
Yeah, we do.
against people. And it's sickening.
It's
and
for
they
the
got
heart.
a murderer at the helm, and that is what I'm trying to point out to people with writing this book, is that it might have happened a little bit differently than maybe you all think, and maybe all the people who've put this thing to rest think. But I'm telling you, what's in this book is truth, it's fact, it is not a work of fiction.
Well, okay.
Well, you read it for
Serial
yourself.
killer.
We only had about 30, 40 people, 50 people read it.
Did anyone see the American Case File episode? Anyone see it out there? Say yeah.
I think Diane's here. She was here today. I saw her earlier. Diane Woolley, we were,
I feel like
Good-
there's some
good episode.
hypocrisy in what you're saying right now because you defended the West Memphis Three
I did.
in the episode of
Innocent.
American Case File.
Innocent. They were
It was
innocent.
a rush to judgment.
They were found innocent. This was a
And
rush to
20 years
judgment
later,
against. This was a rush to judgment.
I feel
against-
like you're doing exactly what they did.
No.
This is
No,
a
it's
witch
different.
hunt.
No,
you
it's
guys agree
absolutely
this is a witch
different.
hunt?
I don't think different because that was a rush to
Like a
judgment
wizard.
against Ian Black. This was a rush to judgment against Ian Black.
A Russian judgment?
It was a rush to judgment.
Bigotry know no bounds, sir. A Russian judgment. I've never even heard that phrase.
I'm glad that you brought up the American Case File episode because as you should have learned your lesson from that, Mr. Morgan, there are certain things even major media outlets are not willing to stand behind and to publish.
Well.
And so I think that you need to be quite careful, sir.
And how about the letter, the suicide note that Dr. Ian Black, did anyone, read that? I mean, clearly he
Or
had...
authenticated? Was that authenticated?
That was not
That was authenticated.
No, it was not authenticated.
Yes, our legal
it was
team-
not. As
our
you
legal-
just said earlier, it does not match the notes. The notes are real. The suicide note is not.
We had a handwriting expert
Unbelievable.
completely
No.
go through every single
Did
word, every
not.
single letter, and they completely verified that it was written by Dr. Ian Black.
No.
His handwriting
No,
matches
folks,
that
do not
of the
listen. Folks,
suicide
this
note.
is manipulation. You are all being manipulated right now by a master manipulator, Spencer Charnas, and I don't.
man.
You do not. I do not listen to what he
Fitz,
says.
you must acquit.
No one contested the veracity of that handwriting. I'm telling you, it was Dr. Ian Black. He had a long-standing resentment against the medical community. A lot of the people that he grew up with, the people he went to college, they were all published before him, and he had a chip on his shoulder. And then he killed all those people. It wasn't
Well,
me.
I think that's a
My
little more
dentist-
illegible than what we have.
My dentist can verify
It
it.
is much. The dentist again. The old dentist alibi. We've heard it a number of times.
Now, as a fellow journalist who strives to be impartial, and again, I have no favoritism here. I really feel like you're being a jerk.
Yeah, for real. Yeah.
As I said, it's a hostile crowd. Not a room I'm used to being in.
You're stinky.
No, these people like the movie Hostel. You got that backwards. Again, a work of fiction.
Well, we're just going to have to agree to disagree on that. I'll
Yeah,
tell you.
and-
They
Well,
can
okay,
judge
how many
themselves.
people out there like violent media? Make believe science. How many people have actually committed a murder?
I saw
See?
it.
There's one guy who raised his hand with Skeet back there. That's it.
Now, how many of you have been nominated for a Bandit Award? I mean, I have several times been nominated.
One Van Ed Award.
No, I didn't say that. I was
Just one
nominated.
Van Ed Award. Well,
Being nominated, it's pretty much the same thing as winning.
you have a very obvious bias here, sir.
I'm just saying.
You're
it
not
was,
only are you on the
there were a lot of
payroll-
questions about
Well,
the
you
election
like,
integrity in 2017.
Well, you like Dr. Ian Black.
And you like
Didn't
talking about
win it,
election
didn't win it.
integrity. Why not the Bandit Awards?
I'm not talking about that today. Today, I'm talking about this book. And I'm not going to go into what I report on and who I report for and what news outlets I tend to watch and consume. They are probably not the same ones as the folks in this room.
I think just by looking at your Instagram and who you follow,
A little more,
I think we could get a pretty good picture of who you are, Mr.
well,
Lincoln.
a little more friends of Fox and Friends and than whatever you folks are into. Whatever kind of bloody,
and I'll tell
disgusting
you
things
the
like.
same thing that I told you at the 2018 White House Correspondents' Dinner. Never hit a woman.
That was a low blow, I'll say. Never hit somebody
That's
when
good.
they're down. You don't hit somebody below the belt. I don't remember that dinner.
I can see why. How many whiskey sours was that? 7, 8?
Okay. We're moving on.
Look, Mr. Merkin, on your The Real Roy Merkin Instagram,
Okay.
I see a statement here that says that you continue to pursue aggressive legal action against this very
Yes, well-
con, claiming you own the trademark. Anyone here with a simple tool of Google can search the United States Patent and Trademark Office and look to see who owns the trademark silver screen. It is one Spencer Charnas.
The Silver Screen. A book I began years ago, Silver Screen Con, started last year. How many people were here last year? People here last year? People here last year. Just last year. How many people were here 2 years ago? Right, because it didn't exist. Okay. 1 year. This book, been around, wrote it years ago. Right after the
Well, if
wars.
you watch the
No more.
trailer online, it said it came out 2 weeks ago.
Well, it did just finally come out because book publishing takes time. You have to write you got to put all the words on
You
the
gotta
page.
find a publisher that
Well,
would
you got to
publish
shop
that
it around.
trash.
You got to shop it around. It's tough.
Get 'em.
Luckily, we have a wonderful publisher,
Let me cool
Red
things
Bird.
down just a little bit.
Okay.
Let's cool things down. Let's everybody get back to their corners and take a breath. I understand, you are aware that Spencer is in a band.
Correct.
Okay, so
Ice 9 Kills.
I want to believe then, let's
Red it on
again,
the shirts.
objectively here, for the sake of argument, let's say your theories hold any water whatsoever.
Yes.
Would it be fair to say then that the members of the band are accomplices?
Well, they were certainly along for the ride, I'll tell you that very much. They were always there, present, as Spencer was committing a killing spree across the country.
They were actually
with him
getting
on all
dental
the
work
tour.
done at the same time. You have the same dentist,
You must have a very, very expensive mouths. All
Dr. Plotka.
I
all the
believe
better for lying to these
I
people.
believe that the members of the band have a right to
Bring
face
them
their
out.
accuser as well. So that's, I swear we counted the chairs earlier. I
I
don't
thought we did.
Fellas, how we doing all the way down there?
We were well. We're good.
Innocent, one might say.
What? Say again?
Innocent, one might say. You feel?
Oh
innocent?
yes. Oh, extremely innocent. More innocent than I felt yesterday, actually.
Mr. Downey, the only ride that they've been along for is the limo ride to the stadium tour with Metallica this past
One limo for the whole crew. It's fantastic.
Fantastic. So we have a packed panel room. We've had a packed panel room all weekend. One more time for yourselves. If you have questions, which I think you do, for Spencer, the members of Ice 9 Kills, or Mr. Merkin, please raise your hand. A microphone will find you. Tell us your name and where you're from. There's a roving microphone man somewhere. He's behind me. He's coming.
We found him.
We'll start with you.
This is for the band. My name's Felicity. I'm from New Jersey.
Hi, Felicity.
Yo, I am sorry you have to deal with a man like Roy. You guys are all innocent, but I have a question. Like, how do you deal with this man? Like, always accusing you guys of murder.
Throw him out of my dad's plane.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let my lawyer handle that one, as I was instructed to do
Hey, gentlemen, would you care to answer the question?
I think we limit our time around Mr. Merkin to as less time as possible, the least amount of time as possible being around this man. It's really affected my sleep schedule.
German just keeps saying something about how there's always a way to take care of this, and then he says wink, wink, nudge, nudge afterwards. But it doesn't actually happen.
I'm glad you've been listening.
I feel like my sleep schedule is going to start to get affected as well with that kind of thing.
Okay, so we
Got a lawyer after
do
me.
have our roving microphone man now. He will seek you out. Dealer's choice.
Oh, I wasn't expecting that.
What's your name and where you're from and your question?
I'm Ramsey, and I'm from Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. And this is actually a question for Roy. Other than the alleged notes from the therapist there, why are you so convinced that it's not a copycat?
Copying who, Spencer?
Copying the music videos.
Copying music videos. Well, Spencer made the music videos. He's in the music videos. He had intimate knowledge of the music videos. Why would it not just be him? Sometimes
Why
the
would I be that
simplest
stupid?
answer.
Why would you be that
correct.
stupid? Exactly.
Sometimes it's the simplest answer.
Well, why can't they link any of my DNA to any of the crime scenes?
Well, you're a very good cover-up artist. And you
So I
have
was
good
wearing
cleaners.
gloves?
Yeah, you're wearing gloves right
I
now.
didn't drop a mid-cap or anything.
I thought she was going to ask about the extradition charges you have pending in Canada.
Well, we're not gonna. We're not.
Oh, I wasn't aware of those.
You're not welcome in Canada. I don't want to go there anyway.
They do not like DUIs in Canada.
Well, they
I'll
do
tell you
not.
that.
They do not.
Hi, my name is Jalissa. I'm from New Jersey.
Everyone's from New Jersey. Who's here from New Jersey? Not New Jersey.
My question is actually for Roy. Why should we trust your judgment on Spencer and the rest of the band when clearly you're just looking for your 15 minutes of fame?
Absolutely. Years of journalistic work, years of poring over the notes, of interviews, of meeting with the families of the victims, of sitting down with folks like Spencer, putting this whole thing together. How could you possibly, in the few minutes that you've been here and maybe some cursory look through this book, know more than me about this case? I do not think you do.
Oh.
And I'm not going to listen to somebody from New Jersey about it happening.
I'll turn into Snooki.
Wait, didn't you go to Hofstra undergraduate?
I did not. I went to University of Austin, Texas.
I think I saw some guys in some tracksuits in the parking lot.
By the way, you want a job later, shoot me in a DM.
Sorry, you went to Rutgers, which is in
Hofstra's
New
in Long
Jersey.
Island. So, yeah, Hofstra's in Long Island.
Question.
Hi, my name is Nina and I'm from Finland.
Wow. Thank you for coming all the way from Finland.
Thank you,
Wow.
here's four of us. My question is actually about the Silver Scream Con. And I was wondering if you could bring it to Europe one day, maybe in Finland, because there is like so dark most of the year that we don't have anything else to do than just watch scary movies and listen to Ice Nine Kills.
Absolutely. Who thinks we should bring it to Europe? Done deal. Who here is from outside the United States? Wow. Shout out where you're from. Finland?
Canada.
That's
We had a
amazing.
great time playing in Finland on this past tour. Our first
Yeah,
time had to be in
Scotland,
Finland.
yeah.
It's fantastic.
We went there.
Oh, you were there?
Fantastic.
Wait for the next
See that?
It's beautiful.
He's getting his steps in.
I'm Madison from Austin, Texas, and my question is for the band.
Yeah, Texas.
Texas.
Roy home state.
I know.
Yeah, we know you're from Texas. You don't-
Got him.
My question is, when did you guys start playing your instruments or singing? And did you take lessons or were you self-taught?
I started playing percussion and the drums in the year of 2001, so that's 22 years ago. Yeah, and I did take lessons. I took lessons in school. I took lessons outside of school to help me read music. But as for a lot of the drum set stuff, I self-taught and listened to a lot of music and just tried to figure out what they did. That's how I did it.
I started playing an instrument, piano, at a very young age, and my father, who's right over here, he's also Thanks, Dad.
And Mr. O'Cutie actually joined us on stage in London and played bass.
As the Crow. Frank the Crow.
Well, I started playing guitar in 2004 and got very into it probably about, okay, thank you. 5 or 6 years into it, started taking it very seriously. I was taking a lot of lessons in school as well as outside of school. And yeah, the technique stuff was more or less self-taught, I think, but it was mostly instructed. So.
I started around 2000 as I got a bass guitar, and then I got a guitar to be in a different band, and then I switched over to vocals. At a certain point, I toured in a band for years doing vocals, and then I became a music producer, maybe 11 years ago or something like that. And then I came back to this and had to get more serious about guitar, but mostly self-taught with everything.
I started playing guitar probably when I was 8. I saw the video for Smells Like Teen Spirit on MTV, and I wanted to be Kurt Cobain. So that's when I started playing guitar and singing. Grew my hair long, bleached it, got a bunch of flannels, and the rest is history.
Roy, you don't play an instrument, right? Yeah, that's what I thought.
I don't think bullshit is an instrument. Is it?
Who plays fast and loose with the truth?
Hands.
They cut your mic, sorry.
As they should.
Someone else has a mic. Okay.
I'm Anna. I'm from Methuen, Massachusetts.
Where are you? There you are. Who here is from Massachusetts? Oh, wow.
And I was wondering, so how does it affect your band members that you've been incriminated? And, I mean, it's kind of messing up some tours, right?
I don't give a shit.
I just want to point out, no criminal charges have been filed against Mr. Charnas.
Never.
Right, there was
Hell yeah.
pushing the European tour back a little bit. That affected us a
But
little
being
bit.
a person of interest is not being charged for crime.
Correct.
Yep. And
We'll
Mr.
have you
Simpson
off
will
the
tell you
road in
that
no time, I'll
firsthand.
tell you
Yeah.
that.
And we can all agree that you are an interesting person. So
Right. I'm
what's
always a
wrong with
person of interest, yeah.
Stay out of our business and we'll stay out of yours.
Yeah.
My name's Aiden and I'm from New Hampshire. Spencer, last year someone asked if you were gonna make a Five Nights at Freddy's music video, but you said you would have to get into playing video games. But now since there's a movie coming out,
I think we're gonna.
You're the kill of all the great.
I was gonna say gotcha.
Gotcha. Well, I haven't seen the movie. It's not out yet, right? But it's got Matthew Lillard in it. Anything with him?
Five Nights at Freddy's is very, very scary.
Feeling a little
very
woozy
scary
here,
game.
so I think we'll get to it for sure.
It's a good game, though. It's a great game.
But it has nothing to do with Freddy Krueger. That's right, right?
Yeah.
Animatronics.
Evil Chucky.
Who's next?
Hi, my name's Jen. I'm from St. Louis.
There's Jen.
Hi.
Did you ever see us play at the Foo Bar?
You know, I did.
Just say yes.
Yes. My question is for you, Spencer. It's actually about this whole convention itself. What gave you the idea initially to put together a whole convention?
Since I was a little kid, I loved, obviously, horror movies, and actually one of the main influences in terms of me getting into the genre was a place called Spooky World. I was in Berlin, Massachusetts, and I was probably maybe 5 when my dad first took me, and we got in the parking lot, and some ghoul jumped out at me, and I freaked out. I said, "Dad, I want to go home right now." He said, "Spencer, your shoes untied. Let me just tie your shoe." "Dad, get me the fuck out of here." So I didn't make it in the first year. We went back the next year. Same shit happened again. Pool jumped out at me in the ticket line. I got the hell out of there. So, and actually, we went to see Ernest Scared Stupid instead. Great film. R.I.P. James Varney, right?
Yep.
So my dad said the next year, Spencer, if we get you there and you don't go in, I'm never taking you back. So I mustered up the courage, went in, blew my mind. It was the first time I ever met any horror celebrities, because after the Haunted Hayride, I met Kane Hodder. Of course, we met
Silver Screen Con 1, Kane Hodder.
Silver Screen number 1. And George P. Wilbur, R.I.P., who played Michael Myers in Halloween 4 and 6. Not George Romero, George Wilbur. And from then, I just became a lifelong obsession. And Rocket Shock was a big influence on this convention. And as the band's following grew, especially in Massachusetts, it just seemed like the perfect time to start our own. So here we are. And thank you guys so much for coming and making this amazing. We really appreciate it. And who wants us to do it every year?
Just a warning for the people who partner with you, the hotel here and everything. You be careful you get into bed with this guy. I'll tell you.
Let's go.
You squeeze an avocado, you're going to be ready to make guacamole. I'll tell you that much.
Excuse me?
It's tough. We had to work on this book together.
Who here would like to get into bed with Spencer?
Yeah.
Because he's got partners all over. You told that Spooky World story yesterday with that Spooktacular fellow. With the Spooktacular guys, they got that documentary. I saw them right in this room, and you told us. I heard the same story yesterday.
Yeah, Spencer's a producer on that film.
It's a good story.
Well,
Great story.
I hear the same stories. I was just warning them, the Spooktacular documentary folks, to be careful of
No, right?
what they
See, no
get
one heard
involved
that.
with.
Mr. Merker, we've heard that avocado guacamole thing about 4 times.
It's a Texas saying. We have a lot of sayings in Texas.
I believe we have some more questions from fans and friends.
Hi, my name is Darian. I'm from Massachusetts, and I just want to ask all of you, what's your favorite scary movie?
Mr. Merkin, what's your favorite scary movie?
Norma Ray. It's about unionization.
Boo!
Showgirls?
Mine is, we have yet to see the conclusion, but it's called Welcome to Horrorwood.
Shaun of the Dead. Hereditary. Train to Busan.
Yeah!
This is a new update, but The Thing.
If you've been in the panels, you know what my favorite horror movie is. It's all our hands. Well, The Crow's my favorite movie. Nightmare on Elm Street's my favorite horror movie.
And apparently Scream's in your top 5, as he told Skeet all the time.
Hey, at least he knows I'm not bullshit.
Hi, I'm Michaela from North Carolina.
Woo!
So my question is, I know the Ice Nine was the original name, so at what point in the inception of the band did you decide to add kills and why?
You're not from Indianapolis, are you?
Yeah.
Just check.
So we were named Ice Nine pretty much the first 5 or 6 years of our career, starting in high school. And right before we released Last Chance to Make Amends, I don't know if anyone knows that album out there. That was the first album that we were really going to release and press and make it, semi-professional. And we kind of got word that there was another band from Indianapolis called Ice Nine. I think at that point they had disbanded, right, Ryan?
Yeah.
A great hardcore band. And out of respect for them, and also the internet at that time was becoming really, really the vehicle for bands to distribute their music. Google was popping up in mp3.com and stuff. And so to basically differentiate ourselves from that other band, we decided to add the Kills. We actually already had a shirt that said Ice Nine Kills, and I really like the shirt. I like the acronym INC. and the rest is history.
So, Mr. Merkin, you can see he has a great respect for trademark law.
Oh.
All right.
Hi. I'm right here. I'm Draven. I'm from Colorado Springs. So, being from Colorado, I've just wanted to hear what was it like to perform at Red Rocks, not once, but 2 years in a row with the Trinity of Terror tour and then the Popular Monster.
Incredible. I mean, that's a bucket list venue, I feel like, for most musicians, and being able to get to play it twice in the slots that we had was pretty awesome. I don't really remember the second one. I had a concussion. But
And when I try to describe the weight of playing at Red Rocks to my friends, they know what I mean when I'm like, my dad knows what Red Rocks is. But getting there, you have to like walk around for a little while just to like make sure it's real. And then the one aspect of playing the show there that it was so cool is like everybody seated is just going up vertically, like so you're actually getting to like keep like doctor recommended posture while playing to like look at the audience, which is like it's actually way easier on the back.
I think there are very few venues in the entire world that possibly compare to Red Rocks, whether it's stadiums or even really unique club type venues. That place really stands out on its own, and I don't think there's anything else quite like it.
That and the Lynn Memorial Auditorium, right, guys? Red Rocks, Lynn Memorial Auditorium.
Gillette Stadium, spring 2024.
Yeah.
Who's gonna come see us at Gillette with Metallica? That's it? Yeah.
I'm broke.
We'll get you all free tickets, all right? Just see Mr. Merkin. Come up to him.
Hit him on DMs. He loves DMs from main fans about free tickets.
Thank you very much for that. Yeah.
And his phone number is 78.
That would be. Where's that area code?
Oh wait, it's Texas.
No,
Who's
it's
next?
214.
He's ready. He's ready. Just go for it.
And an observation here. First of all, statement is, I can corroborate what Attorney German said last night. Absolutely killed the audience in Lynn. Thank you. Unbelievable. But I also want to state to Mr. Merkin, you did come by our booth today. And you also crop dusted us in the way. So to
that's that all red meat diet.
I was shocked that you were able to walk over to our booth to begin with because you have no spine. And I would appreciate it if you did not disparage Mr. Charnas any further.
Well, thanks very much for that line of question. We'll try to keep it to just questions and not statements of libel, please. So thank you.
Oh,
I don't think
it's
that
slander.
Hi, I'm William from Indiana.
Indiana.
This is a carryover I wanted to ask last year, but I didn't get a chance. Mr. Merkin, Mr. NRA might not like it, but I don't like him either. I was talking to Nadia at the last year's karaoke party, and the shower scene got brought up, and she mentioned her being with a woman in the video, and how and she just kind of gushed about LGBT stuff, and I think I can speak for a lot of the fans in here that a lot of us are LGBT, and I just wanted to know how that came about, or like your general like support thoughts, or like what your thought process was doing that in the video, that sort of thing. You can get that scowl off your face, Merkin.
I know Mr. Merkin has a lot of opinions about this, but let's let the band.
I'll hold my thoughts.
Thank you.
One for you, Merkin.
I'm not going to answer it.
We fully support you guys. We love you. We don't care who you go to bed with, as long as you come to our show.
Hi, Vicky from London.
London.
I was just wondering, is there any difference in preparation between your sort of huge stadium shows like the ones with Metallica and the smaller venues like last night? Is there anything different you bring to those shows, or is it pretty much the same however size arena you're in?
The other guys can chime in too, but I will say it's a lot more difficult during the Metallica shows. We're playing in the round, right? And it's broad daylight, so we don't have the luxury of lighting and kind of more atmosphere. So a lot of the kind of gags that we do, which are gags, Mr. Merkin, this is all make-believe. We kind of have to take some extra steps so the people that are behind us, because when we're playing with Metallica, there's people in front of us and behind us, so that we don't give away some of the magic tricks.
Yeah, I think the sets have been chosen specifically not only to cater to the crowds that we're playing in front of, the different style of crowds, whether it's Metallica fans, whether it was Lamb of God fans, whether it was our own fans. We kind of had to cater the sets to what songs we could play that visually were going to work on specific stages that we were playing. So being able to be creative and come up with new ways to do It Is the End, or new ways to do funeral arrangements and stuff to make it still work and still be enjoyable for the whole audience was challenging and fun.
Very good. I think one of the other things that I noticed within the first few shows is that our set time is much shorter than when we played like last night, where we got to play like 80 minutes or something. So we try to cram as many songs into a smaller amount of time as possible, so there's not a lot of downtime. We played a much shorter set, so I was assuming it'd be much easier to get through, but by like the third song, I realized how I'm in terrible shape still, even after like 6 months of touring, I guess. So yeah.
Joe, was last night the longest Ice Nine Kills show ever? I think.
I think it might be.
Oh my God.
I was there. It felt pretty long, I'd say that.
It's a
lot to sit through.
Do we have any questions in the back? No one has really gotten a question back there.
And while the mic is headed back there, I have a question for Patrick. That's right. Which is the popcorn bucket drums.
Okay, it's like.
Those are popcorn buckets, right?
My name's Amanda. I'm from Rhode Island.
Never mind. I thought he was going to the back.
Where are you? I can't see you.
Here, do you want me to stand up?
Hi.
Spencer, over here. I stood up for you. Okay, I'm from Rhode Island. My name's Amanda. Last year you mentioned that you might want to take Silver Scream to Broadway. Is that something you're interested in? Has there been any progress on that?
It would be called a music kill. What do we think? That is a trademark term. So your next book better not be called
Off Broadway.
Off Broadway. So yeah, you guys want to see that?
I tried to ask a question about a drum set.
It's okay. Overlooked. It's cool. What was the question there?
They're popcorn buckets, right?
Oh,
That's what they look like.
Yeah, yes, it is modeled off of bloody popcorn buckets. They're not actual. They're made of wood. Drums are made of it's wood, metal, and plastic on top, but it looks like popcorn buckets. SJC Custom Drums did a very good job at that.
Tried to shine a spotlight on the drummer and got slapped in the face twice.
Hey, y'all. Hi, Raul. Born and raised in Lawrence, Massachusetts. Shout out 978. My main question is this, and Spencer, you probably remember me. I was the dude with the bloody Letterman jacket at your meet and greet.
There you go.
I know you look familiar.
My main question is this: as when it comes to the songwriting process and everything, like, do you guys have like a specific list of what movies you have to tackle, and like those that are kind of the maybes?
Sort of, yeah. We kind of just come up with a master list of all movies that we love, because that's the first prerequisite. We have to love the movies. And then we kind of go through and figure out an array of songs that are going to be different enough from one another, you know? We don't want to do too many about the same kind of thing. Whenever we've run into something like that, you know, when we did the Silver Screen 1, Friday the 13th and Halloween are obviously different movies, but there is a similarity that runs through them. So that's why we decided to do Stabbing in the Dark from Michael Myers' perspective and Friday the 13th from the Dead Counselors. But yeah, it's all about just coming up with a list of movies that we feel you guys will love and that we know like the back of our hands.
All right, thank you.
Your time for a few more questions. We can't say. Why not? Eric.
NDA. Hello.
NDA. FLA.
My name is Joshua. Most call me JJ. I'm from Plymouth, Massachusetts.
Plymouth. What up? What?
My question is, there have been many, well, it's known that Spencer Charnas has charges against him for murder, but...
Allegedly. There's no charges that have been filed.
Allegedly, but it's a known criminology fact about the spouse. You always check the spouse first. Does anybody have any thoughts that Nadia could have been the person that committed the murders?
Oh! I haven't seen Nadia in like 6 months.
She's not here, right? Is she here? Okay, good.
Interesting theory.
Mr. Merkin, you want to weigh in on this? Have you even considered other suspects?
Yes, I have. All suspects have been exhausted. Let's just leave it at that.
All of them?
Really?
Exhausted?
Even you sure about that?
Yes. I have.
Wait, what if you're the killer? What if you're the killer?
Well, that's just ridiculous, so thank you very much. And let's go to the people with the microphones. Both up here and in the back. Against me right now is what I'm watching.
Boo!
Watching a witch hunt. You got Salem, Massachusetts right down the street.
Oh, the West Merkin 3, I guess.
Hello.
Where's the mic?
My name is Noah. I'm from the itty bitty state of Rhode Island. And yeah, places. So my question is actually for Miles specifically.
Where are you? I can't see you.
I can't even see where you're at. What is this? Hello.
He looks like you. My question is
You're
actually
the same. My question for you is, why do we look the same?
You look
I'm honored that you think so. How is it for like the change of pace between, you know, going to Ice Nine when you're normally, you know, void bearer or interloper? Like, how is that change of pace?
I mean, it's definitely, it's a whole different world. And I think not only, I mean, musically there's similarities in some senses, you know, they're both like, you know, metal bands and whatnot, but I think the Ice Nine brings a really cool theatrical aspect to it, and so that's kind of been cool to be a part of and add that into, hello children. Sorry, child.
I think that's,
but yeah,
I think
it's
that's
really cool
Boyd
having
Murphy.
that aspect of like
Boyd
stage
Murphy.
performance live and having to kind of pay attention and be aware of other environments in that way. I think it's really exciting, but it's been a lot of fun. Everyone's a great group. Everyone involved is awesome. I'm having a blast. And,
I will say you learned a lot of songs in a very small amount of time. And, it's very, very awesome to have you here.
Dakota Gurney and Miles really saved our ass, so keep it up for him.
I can attest to that. I made the first initial phone call to Miles, and I think I asked him if he could do a whole lot in a very little amount of time.
Yeah.
Stepped up to the plate really quick.
15 songs in 4 days.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Brian was gonna break.
He's a nerd.
It's just nerd stuff. It's all good. Yeah, it's been a good time, and I appreciate the question.
My name's Scott. I'm from Tennessee. This is for Mr. Merkin. You said that you had
you thought Spencer had committed these murders because you talked to all the families and everything. Aren't
Right.
families usually looking for the killer right away? So anyone you implicate, they're going to assume that that's the killer.
Well, I don't think that's. I think these families are a little bit more discerning than that, and they, of course, are the victims. So let's not slander them here. The families were not satisfied, for the most part, with Ian Black being named the killer. They were looking for answers, and sure, I provided them answers. It doesn't mean that I made something up and just invented something out of thin air. No, I carefully came upon Spencer as being a possibility through the notes, and they were satisfied with that. So sue me.
Okay.
We may do exactly that.
Yeah.
Walked into that. Walked into that.
Hi, Nicole from Michigan here. First of all, for personal reasons, I'm looking for a new dentist. Any recommendations?
I got someone who can get you off of murder, apparently.
So, as we all know, the devil is in the details. How much of your merch do you design or are you involved in? Because
Where is he?
it's just amazing.
He's right over there.
Mike!
Everybody, welcome to the stage, Mr. Michael Cortado.
The idea behind the popcorn bucket, drum set. He did it.
I made that. I made that popcorn.
Finally, I got an answer.
He's right, you can't eat it. It is wood.
So every Ice Nine Kill shirt you pretty much see for the last, 5-10 years?
Long time.
Has been made by this very talented gentleman.
Thank you, everybody. I said it before, I'm very tired.
Yeah, and not only have we given him a great job, we've also ruined his life because he can't do much.
It's terrible.
Besides work on Ice Nine Kills.
The only shirt he didn't design is the one that I discovered is for sale on Roy Merkin's personal website.
I don't sell
I want
any.
nothing to do with
I
it.
don't sell any.
Yeah, you
merchandise.
sell merchandise.
I don't sell merchandise. I don't sell. Question books.
You guys can keep complimenting my art, by the way. Anytime. You want to come and say hi? It'd be nice.
How many other bands do you know that design that much merch every single month? A new product line, right?
So people here, they do or do not like The Nightmare on the Ninth? Okay. I'll keep it up. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Kat. I'm from Long Island, New York. And I just have a question for the band. After a show, how do you guys like to wind down and relax?
Go to the dentist usually?
Joe usually starts by screaming, yelling, screaming, throwing things around, getting all of the last energy that he had from the show out in the dressing room. We've been asked to leave multiple venues. Pay a lot of damages just from him. A lot of chairs being thrown, being stacked, being knocked over. This guy's a little ball of energy, you know, and he just has to get some of that out sometimes. So after the show, he usually goes 5-10 minutes destroying the green room. We usually take a shower together, and then we get out. Yeah, that's all true.
Yeah, I usually spend it just running away from Joe as he's screaming strange things at me and trying to put cucumbers on my eyes, telling me everything's fine.
I like to look if there's anything in the venue that I can steal.
Eric, we need your help.
Besides everyone's
Ricky, I don't know what to say.
right? I think we can do a couple more questions before we kicked out of here, right?
Go to
My
bed.
name is Dexter. I'm from Maine, so it doesn't seem far, but it was. My question is actually for anyone who does metal screams. It's a two-parter question. First of all, how many years did it take you to learn it? And second of all, what is your favorite out of all of them?
Favorite what?
Metal scream.
Like a singer or a technique?
Like the styles, like a fry scream or a growl. Like which one
False cool.
do you prefer?
I talk about vocals a lot, but so Melissa Cross actually came up with the terms fry and false chord, and she recently on the internet actually said she kind of regretted coming up with those terms because it's really just your voice. It's, you know, there's ways that you can sound different, like you make it high and low, but there's like a right way to get sounds out of your mouth, and a lot of times like a vocal coach can really help with that, to just make sure you don't do anything that hurts you. But the one thing that I learned that really made it easy to show other people is sometimes you can learn how to make like a pterodactyl noise by inhaling like that. And if you continuously inhale and exhale trying to make the same sound, you'll eventually kind of find it.
I think for me, I think all of us do vocals. It took me probably maybe a year to get pretty comfortable, you know, and you have to fight breath control. It's kind of like a conditioning thing. It's almost like using a muscle. You know, if you don't work out for a long time, then you go power lift, you're probably gonna hurt yourself. And then favorite type, I don't know, I like mids to highs. Who's doing
Joe
this?
loves highs. Joe's a big fan of the highs. I think Joe's technique is
Be loud and scream high.
not a lot of technical stuff going on there. You're kind of newer to screaming though. You're much more of a singer than you are a screamer.
Yeah, but it is fun. I do.
It is fun.
Yeah.
I enjoy doing it as well. I think my original, when I first started like in bands, I was a vocalist and I probably learned how to scream, back in like the 2007, 2008. And then I stopped really doing that when I started playing drums full time, and then realizing that I could do both was kind of fun. And then they started making me do it. So now I get to scream and play drums at the same time, and I more just yell. It's more of you put a lot of power behind yelling. I don't know what that technique's called, but I think it's just called screaming. Yeah, you kind of just pretend that you're at like a sports game, but you put a little bit more behind it. Go team!
I never learned shit. I don't know. I just get really angry up there and pretend I'm killing someone. Pretend. Okay? There's a big distinction between reality things.
And Melissa Cross, as Ricky mentioned, she's amazing. Zen of Screaming is her DVD, which has a lot of great advice, and she's worked with Randy from Lamb of God, and Howard Jones from Killswitch, and
Ricky from My Side Kills.
A bunch of great singers. And by the way, if you think she regrets coining that term, I coined the term metalcore.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Serious?
Really? That?
You also created the internet, right?
That was my good personal friend Al Gore.
Wait, sorry.
I just want to make sure that everyone knows the term Silver Scream is trademarked by Spencer Charles.
I'm afraid we do have to wrap up the Silver Scream Con 2. This is the book, whether it's full of fiction, fantasy, lies, threats, libel, however you would like to describe it.
I'll let them be the judge, but I think it's a very plausible story, and I hope that they read it with an open mind and open hearts and open books and open wallets.
Spencer, what do you think about a Silver Scream?
It's based on a true story. The original title was based on bullshit, but
Get him!
Silver Scream 3. What? Yay? Nay?
The convention or the album?
Whoa.
Both!
Who wants both?
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you, guys.
We love you guys.